Recorded. And here we go. Now that is official. So we are recording so that way people can access the replay. And all of the recordings for nights 1, 2, and 3 will be sent out by the evening on Friday. So be on the lookout for that email. And again, as we're joining in at any point in the first few moments, please write in the chat where you are. We love to see where sisters are joining us. The chat box will be utilized throughout the night. It'll be like a guided use. So if you have any, tech issues, you can use that to ask a question, for that. And then we'll prompt you to use it for other spaces. So that way we can really pay attention to what's coming through. But for now, please let us know. Say hello. Where are you in the world? Hello, hello. Maryland, South Carolina, Jersey, West Virginia, Costa Rica, Connecticut, Cincinnati. Yes, just breathe that all in. Just breathe that all in. So welcome to Temple Sisters. We are so excited that you're here with us for night 2. And if you joined us here yesterday, thank you for being with us again. If you're watching the recording, thank you for tuning in to this space and to this energy. Very briefly, if you're in night 1, we spoke to these, but I'm just going to ask that everyone honors a few pillars of integrity to keep this space safe and sacred. One is that we are recording, so everyone that's in this space, just know that anything that's shared in the chat or through your voice into this space is being recorded for us to witness at a different time, and then also for sisters that can't make it live. The pillars of integrity, so confidentiality, let's just keep everything in this space. Nothing should be shared outside of this temple. We're really going to create a safety net together. The second one is active listening, just really being mindful as sisters are sharing, staying on mute. If there's distracting stuff happening in the background, maybe turning off the camera, that kind of stuff, just to honor as everyone's sharing or as Katie or myself are sharing. The third one, conscious speaking. If you share in the chat or if you share in this space, please do so from your heart. There are no rules or boxes you need to fit in here. We are in a virtual circle, right? And then sacred responsibility. Since we're in a virtual circle, the responsibility is yours within your space to know how far you can lean in. Some of these topics are intense. Some of them can feel very heavy. And so only you know your own lived experience. Sister Circle is not a substitution for therapy or working with a mental health professional, but it's a really beautiful, yummy, supportive complement to that. So trust yourself, lean in as far as you feel safe. Okay, does everyone agree to those pillars? Just show of hands or in the chat. There's a few more sisters in the waiting room, so I'm just gonna let them in. Okay. All right. One of my favorite parts of holding spaces is just inviting everyone to take the opportunity to look upon this amazing, beautiful, magnetic, connected sisterhood. Take in all of the faces you see on your screen. For me, I have to tab over if it's on gallery view. There's so many of us here, it fills up 2 screens. We are all over, right? Anchoring in our energy. We're going to breathe in this space together. We're going to share. We're beaming our love. So take this in. Take these words in as you gaze upon the women here, the sisters here. Because of all of the places in the entire universe, and of all of the billions of people on the planet, and of all of the millions of things that any one of us could be doing right now, we are here in this temple space, creating this circle, this virtual web of sisterhood together. All of you together with us here. So thank you for being here. We welcome you. My name is Leah. I am the owner and founder of Her Sacred Circle. I'm a circle facilitator, retreat facilitator, ceremonialist, and sacred feminine embodiment guide. And what all that means is that I just love creating spaces for connection and sisterhood like this. It just lights me up to see all of you here with us. Connecting with the body, which is just some of the beautiful work that Katie does, connecting with the earth, which is so important. And on a day like today with Mbok, just connecting to the cycles of the planet or the cycles of ourselves. And so that's a little bit about my passion and actually how I crossed paths with this beautiful soul, Katie. So Katie, I will toss it to you. Katie actually facilitated the very first circle that I ever sat in. So I honor you, my sister, and I'm excited to be with you here tonight.
Hey, everyone. Hi. Well, here we are again. Welcome. Yay. And welcome to all of you who are watching the recording. So glad you're here. You've been called to be here. This topic about shame and self-worth is just huge with anyone's empowerment and women's empowerment. So really this return of the goddesses, this return to ourselves and the divine that's within us. So tonight we're going to go deeper into touching into our self-worth and the divine within. So a little bit about myself for those of you who are new. I'm the founder, director of Interweave Conscious Movement. So I lead experiences of embodiment, and I'm a mind, body, spirit coach. Let's see, a dancer, and I have lots of different various trainings in mind, body, spirit connection, mind, body, spirit, emotion connection. Anything else you think I need to say, Leah?
Just that you're a badass goddess. You're
Oh
helping
yeah, right back at you and all y'all.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. So I'm going to open the space with just an opening prayer. And let's see if I can. So I invite you in this moment, I'm just going to open the space with a prayer and drop you into your body, into your breath. So if it feels safe for you in this moment, I invite you to close your eyes. Otherwise, just maybe a straightforward, very still gaze. And I invite you just to breathe. If it feels good to you, maybe place your hands somewhere on your body. You know, tonight we're going to be working with the heart chakra. So maybe it's hands on your heart. Maybe, there's somewhere else in your body that just needs a loving touch. So just honor yourself and just feel yourself, hold yourself here in this moment. I invite you just to begin relaxing from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Your entire body relaxing and melting into this moment, here and now. Allowing anything that you've carried with you from earlier in the day to just fall away gently. All of the baggage we carry, just placing it down gently. If not for this entire circle, just for this next breath, and just bringing awareness now to your breath, to this life force giving energy. Inhaling deeply through your nose and then sighing out through the mouth. And I promise it's going to feel better if you hear the sound. So again, just breathing in deeply through the nose. As you breathe in, straightening the spine, opening the heart and expanding the belly. Sighing out through the mouth. You're just going to keep that breath going. So deep inhales and powerful exhales. All of these sisters here, breathing in to their earthly temples, because sister, you are the temple. Breathing in to your body, breathing into your heart. And with every exhale, just releasing what no longer serves you, releasing what feels heavy, releasing what keeps you stuck. Tonight, we're here to open the heart and to breathe into compassion. So allow yourself to be with yourself here and now. Bringing your awareness now down to your root, down to where your body meets the chair or floor beneath you, and grounding your energy down here for safety to journey with us here tonight in this space, knowing that each sister here is now grounding her energy down. And we ground and breathe our energy down further now, down through the floor, down past the foundation of whatever building you are in, down further now to the soil, down, deeper down, past the rock, past the bones of the ancestors on the land where you are, down deeper, deeper, deeper to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. We're here for the heart tonight, so we connect to hers in this moment, breathing and anchoring into this place. You are held, sister. You are safe in this space to explore. And we open this space in prayer, Mother Earth, Father Sky, angels, light beings, wise and well ancestors, spirit guides and animal spirit guides, directions north, east, south, and west, and elements of earth, air, fire, water, and ether. We call upon your guidance, support, love, and protection in this space. Please hold us in light as we journey together and open ourselves to whatever needs to move through us tonight. May the medicine of the heart chakra and the wisdom of Quan Yin be activated within this space here and now. May we remember, may we remember, may we remember. Bringing both hands to your heart in this moment. Feel your own heartbeat. Connect to your own heart space. And visualize here in this moment, each sister spanning the country, spanning the globe, connected to our hearts. Her heart beats as yours beats. Breathe into your heart. Inhale and exhale. Breathe into the sister's heart. Inhale and exhale. Connecting still with Mother Earth's heartbeat where we're anchored, breathing in and sigh it out. Just honoring here in this moment, each heart that is here with us tonight. Our space is now open, and I invite you to open your eyes rather when you feel ready. If you want to keep your eyes closed, that's okay too. That can be pretty blissful. And Katie, my love, I will toss it to you and let's get started. I'm so excited.
Thank you for that.
Mm.
I feel more here. Okay, well, let's do a little review of last night. We talked about shame. Okay. So the wound of feeling not enough is created whenever we're young by parents and adult figures, teachers. And as we grow, this wound is reinforced by peers and the media, just culture itself. So after we hear damaging messages enough, we start to believe them. And we start to develop this shame. And we turn it, these skewed values on ourselves. And this changes our perception of ourselves and how we live in the world. We can be shame bound and we don't even know it. Sometimes these thoughts go unconscious, a lot of them, but yet it's holding us stuck. So shame has a bad rap, but it's a very important emotion, like we talked about last night, that it keeps us in check. It keeps us aligned with our values and the society's values, the values that make sense, right? That we just need to know to function as a society in a healthy way. But then the problem is when these messages become unhealthy, when these values are damaging, that's when our shame starts to feel really intense. But it's not exactly shame's fault. It's the damaging messaging. Okay. So we need to start looking at, all right, what are these messages that I have gone unconscious about, and which ones are really true for me and which ones are not? Which ones do I need to cut the cord to? All right. So that's one big part of kind of like in the investigation of shame is what's really not ours that we don't actually need to follow or want to follow. And then the second part is being able to hold the shame with compassion. We don't break or push it away, but we are like right here, coming back into a wholeness because we're with this part of us that's hurting. And with that, the hurt gets a little less. And the behaviors become less damaging. Right? We talked about the solar plexus last night as well. And that's this area here. Right? And it's associated with our ego identity and our self-worth. In this chakra's glory is transformation. And on the other side of that, the shadow is shame. And I mentioned how the shame and the transformation are not in opposition to each other, but they actually need each other. We need to look at the shame and shine loving light on it so that we can soften and cut the cords that are bending our ego identity and skewing it, and that are closing off our spirit from being able to live into its fullest self. So we shine that loving light. And something begins to shift. Now we talked about Sekhmet, the lion-headed Egyptian goddess, right? She's fierce. She's a lion head, and she's representing to reclaim our power, to stand in our power, to not give our power away to anyone. I want to share this little story with you in honor of Sekhmet and the third chakra. I guess about a decade ago, I had a dream that the goddess self of me, it looked like me, but the hair was floating and I was glowing. I walked to myself holding this ball of yellow glowing light, right? The third chakra. And she just went, shoo. She said, never give your power away to anyone. She gave me that third chakra, and it rippled up into my heart. The next morning I had a meeting, and boy, I didn't know what I was walking into, but the people were shaming me and saying how I did this wrong and that, and they wanted something. They asked me for something that if I were in my shame-bound self, I would have just, oh, okay, yeah, all right, I'll do that, right? But I was in my power, and I said, nope, that doesn't feel aligned for me. I walked out of that coffee shop feeling like such a badass. And I was just like, oh, I did it. And it felt freeing. And I felt so strong. And all I had to do was stand up for what really, I was tuned in to what did not feel aligned, and I didn't give my power away. And I said no. Oh. I really wanted to share that with you all. So I'm grateful for that dream. That was a very special experience for me. Well, tonight, let's see, we are moving from the solar plexus, this ego identity, right? Self-worth, and we're moving up into the heart center, this place of where we give and we receive love. Now, there's a major imbalance in our culture that we give, and if you could see through a certain lens, you could see that the energy of the heart's like out like this, or there's a block and a hardening where it just nothing quite goes out, or the love kind of bounces off that hardened shell. And we can vacillate between those two, but what is totally missing basically is the receiving of love, the receiving. So this is a yin chakra. We'll be talking about Quan Yin, right? This yin receiving, nurturing energy. The third chakra is yang. Sekhmet is yang, right? It's like poo, but this needs to be a little bit more permeable and allow the love to come in from others, and also really let the love come in from ourselves. Like if you listen to the radio, do you ever hear a song about loving ourselves? That would almost sound weird. That's all how it all has to be about some guy or a booty or some kind of like weird country song. All right, but I want to. Okay, kids upstairs, very loud music, very loud movie coming on. Hold on, let me get back. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. Okay, I think I can focus. You got to share the house. All right, we're coming back to the heart chakra. Okay, you know what? Let's go into the chat. And what are our concerns or skepticism about being loving to ourselves, being compassionate to ourselves? What might block you from that? Right. Feels fake, selfish, there's doubt, we aren't trained, feel guilty, right? Selfishness. It's hard to feel like I deserve it. Judgment. A lot of selfish, undeserving. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Time constraints. All right. Well, this selfishness, I know that's a message too that we get from society about maybe we being a woman or from our partners, right? And sometimes I think, everybody's selfish and giving, right? We need that. Selfish doesn't have to be a bad word, but when we are loving to ourselves, self-compassionate, we don't have to do what is considered some of these selfish things. We don't have to take as much. We don't have to even kind of control as much because we are more resilient. We're just more in relationship with ourselves. Okay. We also don't be fooled that self-compassion is going to make us lazy or, we actually, there is research that self-compassion, those who have it are able to repattern unhealthy behaviors more. They can be more motivated, right? And we can even, when we're more self-compassionate, we can be more compassionate. Oh, I think we could go into practice. Right before that, I do want to say that self-worth can be dependent for a lot of us on our possessions and our achievements and how much we are adored by others or how much we love others. But what if our self-worth was also dependent on how much we cared for ourselves? Maybe self-worth is actually impossible without this true kindness for ourselves. I'm going to turn on a little bit of music for a short meditation. Go ahead and start to feel comfortable. Close your eyes if that feels good. Start to drop into your body by awareness of your breath, that rise and fall. You can hear calling in a circle of support. A circle around us of the loving teachers, inspiring teachers, of our loving, supportive guides, deities, ancestors, living family members, even the future. Calling them in as a support to help hold this loving space around us. Beginning to breathe into your heart center. And we'll exaggerate this with movement. So as we inhale, we lift the sternum up to the heavens. And as we exhale, we just let it fall down and back a little bit. Inhale, opening the heart to the heavens. And exhale. Again. Find a stretch to the side. So you're just stretching the side body a little bit, the side of the heart. Breathe into the side of the heart. The other side. Don't think too hard about it. We're just finding a flow of breath, and we're opening the sides, all around our heart center. Take a few more breaths on your own with the intention of breathing through any of these hard barriers. How can we soften? Softening the heart. Placing our palms onto the heart center. This is the very center of our chest, not to be confused with the organ of the heart. Come right into the center, this energy heart center, giving and receiving love. Feel how supportive how deep you want your support with your palms. Do you like a little bit more press? Do you like it light? Find what feels most comforting. Visualize your heart center being this orb of light, glowing light. As we breathe in, it expands. Exhale. That all just soften. Inhale. The orb is expanding in all dimensions. Drawing our focus to the back of the heart space. This is the area of self-love. This is the area of we're drawing it all the way back so that we can fully. Our palms are on the front of our chest, okay? Slowly absorbing this love, really your loving presence. We're letting that slowly ripple, trickle, vibrate, flow, however the sensation feels. We're letting it slowly come to the back of the heart. intimate with our love, intimate with ourselves. Let's take one more deep breath. Deep breath into the heart space. And we'll slowly open our eyes, come back here. And just look at your faces a little bit. Hi, hi. Well, what did that feel like? Chat, anyone? Expansive, soft, warm, nourishing, beautiful, centering, comforting. Felt like a lot. A beam of love and energy. Kind. Hey, Leah. Illuminating. Yeah, the back of your heart space, really supportive and strong. Just a long drink of love. Yes. Peaceful, soothing, supportive, yeah, nurturing. Okay, see, we can support and nurture ourselves. We might be less selfish if we don't need that from other people. We have the medicine that we can do a lot of this with ourselves. Of course, we need the love and compassion from people, some really close people at least. But we need it to have it for ourselves. So we have the medicine. Let's go into Quan Yin. So we're going to have Leah pull up these images, and if anything changes with the sound, will you let her know in the chat? Okay. Thanks. Let's talk about Quan Yin. Oh, beautiful Quan Yin. So take in these images. So Quan Yin's name means the one who hears the cries of the world. She's the goddess of mercy and compassion. Quan Yin is a Chinese goddess. And her story is that she had a terrible life on earth, a lot of hardship. And when she finally went to pass and she was about to enter the gates of the afterlife, she heard the cries of the world. And she said, wait, I can't just go on and leave this suffering behind. I need to be there to help comfort these cries, these souls, this suffering. So she is said to live among us and helping to comfort when we call. Now, goddesses, deities, they can be also vibrations. They Are they really these entities that are here? Who knows? It's up to you. They are at least a vibration of, so they're embodiment of certain qualities. Like Quan Yin is the embodiment of compassion. That has a vibration. When we call upon her, we're calling upon compassion. Now let's look at the image of her with all the arms. So why would she have all these arms? Because there's all these people in the world to hug, to reach out to. So when she came back from the gates of the afterlife, one of the ways she came is with all these arms. Another way she came back was with an elixir. See the top image of her holding the vase. It's pure water of mercy. And she can pour this or sprinkle to soothe and comfort and nourish. Like Ashera said in the chat, it's like that self-compassion was like a long drink of this nourishing love. We go down then to the image of her radiating, glowing. To me, this image of her also reminds me of Mother Mary. And these two are the same archetype. They fall into that divine mother archetype, the divine mother of unconditional love, the divine mother of mercy. So they're somewhat interchangeable. It's whichever one you feel more connected to. And lastly, let's look at the image of her on the dragon. So she is representing grace here as she keeps her center, as this dragon goes. And the dragon is representing our triggers and the ups and downs of life. And when we can have more of this compassion, our triggers are less. When we can shine more light on our pain in this loving way, be with it and in an intimate, kind relationship, we are going to be more resilient. We can have more equanimity, which is that centeredness in all the ups and downs. Can we stay on our dragon without falling into the sea? Right. I think that's good for that image. Yes, thank you, Leah. We're going to go into another practice in a moment. But I want to share a quote from James Hillman, which reminds me of Quan Yin. And he says that we don't go to therapy so much for fixing what is broken. We go to have the broken blessed. So she blesses the broken. And in that, we're not broken. And we bless the broken. We are our inner healers. Well, we're going to go now into another meditation. This one's a little longer. How are we doing? You need to like stand up or do anything. We are going to move more at the end. We have like a 20-minute, 15-minute movement portion towards the end, but you need to wiggle it out right now. Go ahead. Now I will this next meditation, we're going to call in Quan Yin to help hold our shame. And I do want to specify that. So we're going to first try to hold the actual physical sensation of shame. So I don't want you to get the physical sensations mixed up with other emotions that come with shame. I'll explain this a little bit more. Shame is the emotion linked to the wound of not feeling enough, the wound of unworthiness. But we can then have these secondary emotions that come onto that, like anxiety, right? We're so afraid to feel that shame or be shamed, like we're just going to prove ourselves, we're going to keep working, we're going to be perfect, right? And there's all this anxiety that can come with this. Or another example is the depression. We may just feel pretty down on ourselves, and our perception of life looks just diminished and so devastating sometimes. And another emotion could be anger, right? This defensiveness of like, no, don't you think that of me? How could you think that of me, right? But shame has a feeling in itself that we're trying to get to, okay? And then we're going to call in some help to hold it. Closing our eyes. And just settling in. Wow. We have this circle of support. Are those who love us, those who want the best for us, those who want us to love ourselves, really care for ourselves. They are surrounding. And we call upon the feeling of shame. Channeling in that emotion. Have to recall a situation or a damaging message to kind of put your finger on this emotion, but then let those stories and the circumstances go. We are here with pure sensation of shame. We're investigating this, we're present with this. We're exploring it right now in the physical sensation realm. What does it feel like? With descriptive words, emotional words, more like color, density or lightness, textures. To it, floats or stuck feeling. Get familiar with what physical sensation is of shame for you and where it lives in your body. resting your palms upon this place. Resting your loving palms. Just how we brought the love into your heart chakra, just supportively holding this sensation. Maybe a little bit of the love comes in, but we're not trying just to blast over it with love. We're not trying to just shine everything away. We're here holding it with love. So we have the love and we have the pain right here, right now. Keep both palms there. You can move one hand to your heart. You can move both hands to your heart. We are giving and receiving our own love, our own loving presence, our own tenderness. And sometimes this just doesn't feel enough. Sometimes it's just you can't find the love within enough to hold it. You call from forces from beyond. Call in this energy of Quan Yin, the energy of compassion, mercy. Be here holding the pain, holding the pain. Wrapping around with compassion. Saying, oh, sweetheart, sweetheart. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're hurting. I'm so sorry. Feel how much this hurts. I love you, I love you, I love you. No matter what. Takes out her basin, her water. It feels most nourishing and loving to drink it. It feels most nourishing to have it sprinkled on droplets of mercy. Pours it into your womb, pours it into your heart, the center, the heart well, storing. Fill our body with a little more light, a little bit more loving presence. Breathe. Love. Soft light. Let this begin to permeate our throats, necks, and in the headspace. This love is really igniting the love that's already here, that's just been covered up. We inhale love into our bellies and the organs. Stay in loving presence as you bring light into the different organs. With an inhale, the light permeates through the arms, down into your palms. And with an inhale, your loving presence fills into your womb space. Into your legs, your thighs and knees. Soft light to your low legs and ankles, feet, toes, soles of the feet. Here we are, these heavenly beings here in this human body, making mistakes, learning, growing, turning into more and more love through the mistakes, through the victories. Seated upon the earth here in the temple of your body. Feel your whole being radiating, shining. You can recall that image of Quan Yin, where she was like Mother Mary, where she's shining out from the heart in all directions. And held by the circle of support of the beings who love us and want the best for us. Slowly return back with our eyes open. Well, are you feeling it? Do you feel how we can hold the pain and the compassion? Are you feeling that? It's okay if it's really subtle. It can be so new. This is not taught to us at all. But you also may feel like this crying inside that's just like, oh my God, thank you for like, I can hold myself. Okay. Good. Let me see what we could go into some sharing now. Leah, would you like to lead that?
Yes, let me return to the planet. Whew. Thank you, Katie. And thank you all for, leaning in to that journey. And of course, anything that's shared here, it's an invitation to lean in further in those times with yourself. So I hope that that practice that Katie just shared with us, that you're still feeling it in your body, that you can contain this feeling for tonight. And in those moments where being a human feels hard or heavy, that you can anchor back into this memory and this felt experience in your own temple and return here and give yourself that love and compassion. So I just kind of want to throw out a little bit of a question that you can lean into. We can share in the chat, and then we're going to have a few women be able to speak into the space. But when Katie was sharing about Quan Yin and water, that really spoke to me. Water is such a beautiful element to work with for cleansing, for healing, for nourishing our bodies. And so I invite you in this moment just to ask yourself, here and now, what words of loving mercy and compassion does that aspect of you that is Quan Yin, right? What does she have to say to you here in this moment? And last night, if you were with us, we asked that question about Sekhmet. If your Sekhmet self was here to speak to you in that powerful place. But tonight, lean into Quan Yin, lean into that energy of compassion, lean into grace and mercy. What words do you ultimately have to say to you here and now? And share them in the chat. And then for those that want to speak into the space, you can either physically raise your hand. I'm going to change it to gallery view, or there should be an option to raise a hand emoji. I know, maybe it's not emoji, whatever they call it on Zoom. I don't know if I see that though. So if you don't see it, you can actually physically raise your hand. But okay, it wasn't your fault. Yes, those were not your stories. Yes. Keep sharing that in the chat. And there's an open invitation. Does anyone want to speak into this space of sisterhood here and be witnessed, lovingly witnessed from all of these sisters that are here tapping into their own compassion? Like, let us hold you. Anything that wants to come up, anything that came up for you throughout the entire night so far, you can share whatever is alive for you in your heart in this moment. Just go ahead and maybe raise your hand. I can only see one screen. Okay, I see Martine. And if I mispronounce your name, please introduce yourself when you unmute. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, yes, it's Martine. I lost my 20-year-old 2 years ago. And then in February last year, ended a 4-year relationship with a very narcissistic, emotionally abusive man. And so this is the first time really in 29 years that I have sat back and really looked at what I wanted. And I've been able to get stronger through the passing of my son and the end of this relationship. And for the first time, I feel like I'm really starting to love myself and get to know who I am. So thank you, ladies, so much for having this, because this is helping me so much. So, and having all these sisters around it feels amazing. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing a piece of your story with us. And I mentioned last night just the strength and vulnerability through being able to share, something so raw and real in this space. Like, we hold you and we see you and we love you. And it's so beautiful that you were able, through this, sacred work and this journey, to continue to offer that love to yourself that you so deserve, sweet sister. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to speak into the space? And if you look in that chat, there's so much love being sent to you right now, sweet sister. So just breathe that all in. It's the beauty of sisterhood, to be able to share our truth and to be held, right? To be held. See, I'm going to pull back up. I see Anne Galkowski. If you'd like to be, if you just want to unmute, it should bring you up as the speaker. I just asked you to unmute, Anne. There you go, love.
Hi, thank you so much for this beautiful experience. Am I on screen? Because I'm holding my phone in front of my face. I can't tell.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
great.
see you and
Thank
hear
you.
you guys. Yes.
Okay, thank you. During this last meditation, I first felt a stream of energy from my heart up to my head. That's where I felt shame. And I had seizures as a very young baby, 14 months old. I had grand mal seizures and was in the hospital for that, and suffered with that. And even in utero, my dad was violent. So my mom and I experienced domestic violence when I was in utero, even a week before I was born. And I was really surprised to feel this in my face. And then I was having a little bit of a hard time hearing the words, but I was just kind of going with the flow with the meditation, how I could, and really enjoying the stream of energy from my heart up to my head, and really continuing to feel the shame, my shame, as well as the support of my heart. And then when I heard something about pouring, she was pouring it onto me or into me, I just imagined Quan Yin pouring love into me. So it was really nice to feel like my organs sparkle in my abdomen, and I could feel it, mostly there, somewhat in my chest and lungs, and then also again in my face and head. It was something from my brain, like I didn't realize that my brain felt shame and for not being able to function the way that other people's brains do, because I was on meds for a long time, from when I was 14 months to 7 years, and I'm 57 years old now. So this is really old. So what a beautiful, tender space to be able to access this part of me with your support for healing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go off camera because I'm going to lay back down. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And Katie, do you feel called to share anything in response and unmute? I didn't know if you were muted or not. Thank you for sharing.
Sending so much love to both of you women, and so happy that you're here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
I think we have time for one more. If anyone wants to raise their hands. And there's definitely some love going on in the chat box, so feel free to reach, but I just want to make sure I don't miss anyone, either the hand emoji or raise your hand. Let me check on the second screen. Or you can just unmute if I didn't see you. So just want to give the space for one more moment. All right, Katie, I think our sharing is complete. Thank you all for speaking into the chat, and for those that spoke so powerfully and vulnerably into this space, letting us feel into a sense of your truth and allowing us to hold you, and also the invitation to hold ourselves. Sisterhood is so beautiful, and it's really an honor to be in this virtual circle with all of you. Katie, I think you wanted to move us through some more practices kind of towards the end, maybe get us in our bodies a little bit.
I want to point out that this healing of coming in and being with, that is the divine feminine. It's this more yin and in. We can also use that divine masculine way, which is more of the inquiring and the talk therapy type of things. Yet it's best with both. right? Both the yin and yang of healing. And a lot of this inner work, like we are doing tonight, is missing. And just to go into science for a moment, I mentioned this last night, that when we are feeling triggered and intense emotion, the amygdala is alert and our nervous system is not in a healing state at all, and we react and we behave in ways that might not be as healthy. The only way to talk to the amygdala is it only responds through the body and through touch and being with, that divine feminine way. It doesn't listen to, it's an animal reptilian brain. It's not going to listen to our words or our logic. So we come in and we do the soothing, we do the breathing, and we feel our ground, right? Take our breaths. We develop this intimate relationship with our love and with our pain. Well, before we go into this last practice, okay, actually we're going to do like a tiny little quick practice standing, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more as we're standing, and then we'll go into some movement. All right. We are going to recall, we're going to think of these messages that we say to ourselves, what we've heard from others. Think of a couple of those that we do not want to abide by, that we no longer want to own. If you need to write something in the chat just to get other ladies' minds going, do so. Because we're about to slash through these. All right. Are you thinking of damaging messages or negative self-talk that's coming through? Right. Okay. Well, we are going to take one or two of these, maybe even the main one, and we'll bring this into the next exercise. If you can come create a little space for yourself where you can still see the screen. Maybe you need a sip of water. We're going to come to standing. This is actually from a longtime collaborator of Interweave, and she's on here tonight, Leah Jones. And she's done this with the solar plexus chakra, some of the sessions in there. But we take an inhale coming up like this, and we sip it in again, arms out and up. And one last time, arms come forward and we inhale. So 3 little sips of inhale, and then we take our hands like this and we slash down with a ha. And we are slicing through the ties that bind us. Let's try that once together. Here we go. Inhale. Ha. All right, let's do it. Don't be afraid of your ha. Ha. Cut the cord. Ha. That's not our belief that we own anymore. It's not true. It damages me. My spirit will not own that anymore. Take two more. Good. Woo. Find a stillness. Feel the vibration there. And while you're standing here, receive these words about intrinsic self-worth. This is going to give us resilience. The triggers won't be as strong. We won't let the shame crush us so much. When we can hold ourselves with love, like the energetic love, not just, I mean, going, taking baths is wonderful. Going and like feeling better with your hair getting done, that's great. It doesn't cut it if there is not the energetic love coming into you and from the divine sources. So we can untie the knots, right, of this like ego identity part of us, which is the ephemeral, short lasting part of us, our body, our emotion, our personality, our thoughts, all of this, they're a wonderful vehicle for our spirit on its path. But then the more we untie, right, these knots, the more that spirit can flow into a truer self. So we need both that spiritual work of knowing and claiming and feeling and having these experiences that we are a spirit, that we are eternal, and that we are ephemeral. And these things, we don't have to be so attached to it. When we can have both, that we are ephemeral and we are eternal, then we can tap into a larger self-worth, that we comfort our ego selves and emotions, right? And we also are like, hey, babe, I am a spirit and I'm here to have this experience and grow, and I'm going to make mistakes, and we're just going to keep growing. Every mistake or hardship, something, there is a jewel in there. Like, let's do it. Get that jewel, being rich in love. Okay. So you see how like the spiritual work needs to also come with that more like inner psychological work. Do you see these go together, right? We can't just have one or the other. They work together because we have both of these within us. Yay. Boom, boom, boom. Gonna turn on some music. All right, we're gonna start with, we'll turn this up a little bit. Now, do you hear this enough that it could move you? Do you hear this enough that it could move you?
Hey, your sound's not being shared right now, though.
Say that again, Leah?
Your sound is not coming through.
Oh, okay. Glad we had this little talk.
Yeah, I just gotta share it, then you're good. Good to go.
All right. Is this music loud enough that it could move you? All right. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, the anchor of this movement meditation is simply to feel the motion, be present with the sensation of the motion itself. All right, let's start with, we all just kind of ripple the spine. And you feel that sensation of the motion, right? This is also energy flowing, okay? So it's not just our brain and not just our emotions and not just our muscles, and it's also our spirit that's coming through, that's bringing us into motion. Good. And now on your own, you take this in movement where you are not focusing from the outside of what this looks like. You are simply being the sensation of motion, and you can feel it flow through. Are tired, you can still do this small and be just as present. So if your body needs a break, still be just right here, alive with your presence. Feeling the motion. It's almost like the shape itself dissolves. We're only feeling this flow of motion. And notice what might come up for you. Is there any doubts about your movement, or is there anything pulling at you that might be from shame? Because dance brings that up with people. And if you notice that any kind of doubts, self-judgments come up, just come back into the motion, pure motion of it. And we're washing ourselves with acceptance and love. Let these visitors of the ephemeral appear, right? An emotion might come or some thought. And when we're ready, we are so present that we bring it back to that flow of motion that is love, right now. That pouring, flowing elixir of Quan Yin that is just coming all into our bodies, blessing us. Staying with your breath. Letting the movement get small, small but not dim, small but not weak. Feel here in our power. Feel ready? We'll all come together with an inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up from the earth through the vessel of our bodies up towards the heaven, conduits of the heaven and earth. Exhale. One last one from the earth through our body into the heavens. Finish with our hands somewhere on our bodies that feel like they're calling for your touch. Let's come back. And we will close out here. If there's any comments you want to wrap this up with in the chat to the group about any of this experience, go for it. I hope that movement portion helped to integrate some of all this work that we've been doing. The tiger. Yeah. Oh, good. So someone wrote in the chat, Leah, to drop the link to the Temple Sisters 12-month program. If
Yes.
you can do that, and then you want to give a brief description of what it is that we're doing starting in March, that would be great.
I'd love to. Okay. So I just dropped the link in the chat. That's what I was, if anyone saw me on screen, I looked kind of like looking off in a distance. I was trying to grab that link. So it's in there now. And yeah, so what these three nights are is it's an immersive way to feel into what Katie and I are co-creating for a much longer and much deeper journey that's actually going to be held over a 12-month period. And it's called Temple Sisters, and we're going to start in March. So the temple doors will start in March. And each month, we're going to have an entire month to work with one chakra and one goddess. And we have a couple of months kind of leading up to that. So we'll be feeling into, what is this work? Why are we doing this? We're going to be leaning into what is the sacred and divine feminine? Why is it important to be reawakening this energy within ourselves? And then moving forward, one goddess and one chakra a month. And we are going to have, we'll be meeting together live actually like 3 Tuesdays of the month. So 2 of those are going to be immersive experiences where you're learning about the chakra in one, and then you're learning about the goddess that we've paired with the chakra in the other. And then the third live experience that we'll have together is a sister circle, which is going to be what we'll move through tomorrow night. So you can get a taste of what that's like to really be held in the beauty of sisterhood. We felt it really important for everyone to journey through this in a community. There's going to be a private Facebook group where you can keep making connections. We have some really cool ideas, kind of about like accountability buddies, where you'll be like linked up with a certain sister. So there's really ways to form some really deep bonds, to be seen and heard and supported through this process. All sorts of healing modalities, incredible guest speakers, and facilitators for different live workshops. So we have a lot in store. I just dropped the link. We do have it open now for registration. Recordings for the next 3 nights is going to go out on Friday. So because we know that some people might not be able to watch everything until Friday or Saturday, from now until Sunday, so Sunday at like 11:59, like the end of Sunday, anyone that goes ahead and registers, we're going to be making a list. And when we kick things off in March, everyone that registered during this live window and this live event is going to get $100 refunded to them. So it's like our gift to you as like, thank you for being here live with us. Thank you for watching the recordings and being in this space. So yeah, that's a little bit about it. We also are working on an in-person retreat for those that are going through this experience with us. So we're excited to share more about that in the future. But yeah, if you have any questions about it, you can email hersacredcircle@gmail.com, or you can message Katie or I on Facebook if you're connected with us, or if you have our emails. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you can drop it here and I'll try to respond before we sign out.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yes,
Leah.
ma'am. Yeah, absolutely.
When you go to this link, please look at there's a little button for the detailed outline. It is really exciting. It is like a whole inventory of all these aspects of ourselves and these virtues and how to come back into balance. Very exciting content here that we'll be exploring mentally, emotionally, physically. So please go look at the button of the detailed outline.
All right, loves. And it looks like someone was asking about certain songs that were shared. And I'll talk to Katie, but what might be really easy is when I send out the recordings, I can send a link to our playlist. So that way you can feel into the music a little more. Katie, if that's okay with you, their playlists on Spotify. So we'll try to put together some music for you. And Katie, if you know that song offhand, if you want to drop it in the chat, that would be awesome. I don't see any other questions. Okay, she said, okay, so Katie did answer Azul Aura. Beautiful. Okay. If anyone else has questions, feel free to drop it. I'll give it just a second. Kenny, anything you'd like to close us with?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I loved being with you here tonight. Thank you for holding this space for me and for you and for all of us. And for the collective.
Yes, absolutely. Well, to officially sign us out, I would absolutely love if everyone would unmute and let us hear your voices and say bye and speak love and wave and all the glorious things we can do. And I'll let that go for a couple of minutes and then I'll end the room.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Much love. Much love.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good
Good night. Thanks for hanging out.
Good night.
Bye. Oh, I love it. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh, blessings, blessings. Mwah.
Love to everyone. Love to you, Katie, and have a good night.
All right,
Bye.
love you, Leah. Bye, ladies.